Now, we all know that we don't need these international days of recognition, but are these things such as International Men's Day important to balance out the social narrative of our society, given the stranglehold that progressive feminists have over us recently?
I think it is important, but I'm just going to get serious for a minute. I think masculinity in the West, specifically in the West, is in decline at the moment. I think anyone who looks at it for more than 10 seconds could tell you that. We've got men these days that are being emasculated, men who don't even know what they are anymore. We've got men that couldn't tell you what a woman is, running the show in the halls of Canberra where I am right now. And that's a very, very big problem. Why is it a big problem? Because men who are not masculine, who have been emasculated, naturally don't stand up to authoritarianism. They don't stand up to tyranny. They don't stand up to protect their families. They don't stand up to protect their nation. They don't stand up to protect their culture. And I think this push to emasculate men, specifically in the West, like I mentioned, it comes from on high. It's not an accident. When you have men that are emasculated, that don't even know which way is up and which way is down anymore, well, guess what? The people that really run the show, the globalists, the men, and it is mostly men, unfortunately, that pull the strings from behind the curtain, from behind the scenes, they have ever increasing levels of control over our society if men won't stand up and push back. So yes, I think days like International Men's Day are important days. And, we need to celebrate strong, healthy masculinity. It's not a bad thing to be a masculine male. It is a good thing. Make masculinity great again, is what I say.
Well, one thing that I kind of find a little bit sad is that on International Men's Day, I understand they're trying to recognize the tragedy of male suicide, but I feel like these days should be a moment of celebration rather than sadness. Do you think that maybe we should have days that are celebrating all the best parts of men, making men feel better, telling young boys how great it is that they are men, instead of using these events for such
Yeah,
sad things?
absolutely. You're completely right. It needs to be a celebration of all things that are good, that are masculine. And there are a lot of things there. But what we also need to do, Ali, what we also need to do is we need to in a way, be proud of masculinity again. Because these days, if you're a boy, you're consistently told that you're bad and all this kind of stuff. You can't mess around. You've got to sit still. When boys' natural inclination is to go and play and be rowdy. But, we need to recognize that there are differences between the sexes. Men and women are different. I spoke about this in the Senate last week when I was talking about mothers and fathers, both bringing a different aspect to the family unit. And it's very important that we celebrate differences and that we say that it is okay to be a boy, but also celebrate the good things about masculinity, which is a lot, because masculinity, whether we want to admit it or not, it built the West as we know it today. It built the safe, prosperous, free, free civilization that we all get to enjoy. And if we lose masculinity, that civilization is very quickly going to go down the toilet. So yes, we should.
I get the feeling that men are restless at the moment because our society has changed dramatically in the last couple of 100 years. It's gone from being an active society to a sedentary society, and that doesn't really suit masculinity particularly well. But I want to go somewhere else first. Now, not only is International Men's Day not recognized by the United Nations because, why would they? But trendy publications across the West are also viewing any recognition of men as being dangerous and problematic. Now, back in 2016, one of these publications discussed the topic of male suicide, which, as I said, is the focus of this year's event. But they did so by critiquing an observation that men are more likely than women to tragically die by their own hand. Now, what they said is this, quote, "One of the main reasons that men are more likely to succeed in killing themselves is their choice of more aggressive and immediate, in other words, more masculine methods. While according to the Office of National Statistics, the most common suicide method for women is poisoning, men are more common to go for, other means," end quote. Now, that kind of sentiment suggests that masculinity is the reason that men are dying by their own hand. And they go on to make this explicit by stating, this is what I want you to comment on, "It's not the only way masculinity harms men. Now, by that kind of idea, it seems like they're saying masculinity in and of itself is the reason that men are dangerous and being harmed.
Crazy, crazy. Now, this goes back to what I was saying this whole time about the people that really run the world wanting to be rid of masculinity. And they'll do anything and everything to make masculinity evil, to make masculinity wrong, to make masculinity something that needs to be frowned upon, because masculinity is the one thing that all tyrants fear. Strong men that want to protect their family, protect their kids, protect their culture, protect their nation, look after their community. That's what they are afraid of. They are afraid of this, hence the push to make masculinity a bad thing, to say that if you're masculine, you're bad, that the reason that, suicides happen and everything else happen is because of masculinity. It is a lie. It is a lie. If men were more masculine, if men were taught from a young age, hey, look, men all have feelings. Yes, we get it. But the strength of the man is understanding that you have those feelings, being stoic about it, controlling those feelings, and then getting on with it. That is what it means to be a man.